Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, building experiences that connect, remove friction, and deliver insights. Well, hi everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and we are live at Engage, AICPA Engage 2022, and with me is my former Sage colleague. No, you're not?
It's not 2022.
Did I say 22? Yeah, it's 23. The years are short, Jennifer. The days are long, but the years are short. 2023, my former Sage colleague, I was going to say, you're not my Sage colleague, Jennifer Warawa, who is the current president of Quickfee North America.
Hello, Ed.
Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, Jennifer.
It is great to be here again.
So our first question is always, why do you do what you do?
You know what? I have like this, it's like a serial obsession with serving the accounting profession. Like, I just love it.
You're like Al Pacino in Godfather 3. Like, every time they think you're out, they rope you right back in.
You know what? I have not even seen Godfather, any of them, but I'm going to watch it just because you said that.
Okay, so there's a famous scene where Al Pacino has this great line where he says, "Every time I'm out, they rope me right back in."
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, and it feels really good to be in the accounting profession. I love the evolution of the profession. I love their drive to do things differently. I love that there's this curiosity, but still some of the legacy holding them back. So it's just something it's a really connected ecosystem and a lot of great people. So I love it. A lot of it's about relationships and the people.
Absolutely true. And before we started recording, you said you've been doing some noodling on navigating through the tech stack of all of the wonderful products, especially that we're seeing here in the exhibit hall. And what are your thoughts on that? It's almost overwhelming.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, when I got here and I walked into one of the exhibit halls, I walked in, I'm like, well, it's not as big as I thought it would be. And they're like, there's two of them. This is one of two. And I was like, oh, well, now it's bigger than I thought it would be. So when you think about, hundreds of exhibitors here and a ton of tech, it's so complex to navigate for a firm, especially a firm who maybe is using older technology. I just met with a firm a few minutes ago that hasn't even moved to the cloud yet. They're still using desktop applications. So it's like, where do you even get started? And so I think about the complexity of navigating something like this, and then thinking as you evaluate your own tech stack, where does it make sense to go a mile wide? Where should you go a mile deep? Where does AI help you? Where does it slow you down? What speeds you up? Where do you need automation? How do there's a lot. Like I'm adding a bunch of complexity, and I'm not sure that I'm giving any great answers for it, but it's a lot when you walk around.
I think you're absolutely right. And how do you say, all right, once you develop your tech stack, say to your potential customers, all right, you got to use our tech stack, and we're not going to look outside what we already do, because you want to standardize on stuff. That's a big debate that I've heard people. I mean, I think you're always going to be adding stuff over time.
Yeah.
But you need to be specific and targeted about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can't spread yourself too thin in some areas.
And there's a lot of consolidation happening, not just in the accounting profession, but in all of the technology that serves the accounting profession. So you have an integration one day with one company, and then they get acquired by someone else, and now that integration doesn't work, or so it's like it's complex to navigate. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so somebody said to me a number of years ago, one of these shows, said, walk around the exhibit hall, 60% of these companies won't exist 5 years from now.
Yeah, there is a lot of consolidation. We've seen a lot of acquisitions over the last couple of years, and you see some of the smaller companies in some of the big players' booths now, which makes sense. They're helping build out their own tech stack. But yeah, I think it's about figuring out what is it you really need to take your firm to the next generation of technology. And I think I think there's AI is one thing, but you've got someone. I had a conversation yesterday with someone who's thinking all about AI, and then I find out they're using a desktop solution. So it's like, okay, well, maybe let's start with the cloud. Like, let's go in that direction, and then start thinking about automation. Then think about AI. But it's like there's a whole path of progression that needs to happen, and they're jumping almost right to the end. Like, they missed the whole middle part, and there's still a lot to be done. So it's complex to navigate, and I think there's a lot of companies and a lot of consultants that help do that, but it needs to be a really deliberate, thoughtful process. We've had conversations with people here about how am I going to get to the cloud, and then the next company's like, when are you going to offer crypto and everything in between? And you're like, okay, we're all over the map. We've got some of everything going on.
Is ChatGPT built into your product already?
Yeah, that's what they're like. And you're like, oh, do you use it regularly? They're like, I've never used it. You're like, oh, okay, well then I guess it doesn't matter, does it? But it's all the buzzwords, it's all the, and people aren't even sure what it means. Like I don't even know how I'm going to use this, but it seems like I should because everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, everybody's talking, yeah.
But I think it is about, I think a big theme that I certainly am seeing is around automation, because I think at the end of the day, there's a talent shortage in the profession. That's not a secret. Everyone here is talking about it. And so anywhere you can automate, it's a smart way to do it. So it's like there's a lot here to offer on automation. I think that's a piece. If I'm thinking about tech stack and I'm a firm, I'm thinking about automation for sure.
Yeah. It's so funny. People are right. Well, AI, we're worried about it taking our jobs. Are you kidding right now with the dearth of people that we don't have in the profession? What jobs are?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't even find enough people. Absolutely. And if there's someone, for example, we're in the AR space, and if someone's job is just doing AR all day, every day, they're happy to get help. Like they actually they see other things they could be doing to add more value. They're like, I'm actually fine if technology takes part of my job. Like I'd like to automate some of this so I could do something that's higher value.
Sure.
So,
well, I'm going to do a little commercial here. Tell me a little bit about Quickfee.
So we offer payments and financing solutions to professional service firms. Our mission is to help accounting and firms get paid faster. That's what we want to do. So just how do we accelerate receivables? When I was talking about whether you go a mile wide or a mile deep, we're all about going a mile deep. It's all about AR. We're not looking at other industries. We're not looking at other parts of the tech stack like practice management. We're just focused on AR.
Great. And how's been the response of people who know you landing over at Quickfee?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. It's a bit of a reunion of sorts, right? Like it's, I said that actually when I was at the Sage conference a couple of weeks ago here, which you were at as well. But I shared that it's kind of like a sorority or a fraternity. You kind of say it's like a family reunion, but then you're like, no, it's not a family reunion. But when I looked up the definition of a sorority or a fraternity, it's like a group of like-minded people that have a common mission, that they go their separate ways, but then they come back together. And the accounting profession is kind of like that. It's people that are kind of on the same journey, but they all go out, and then throughout the year there'll be events like this that bring people back together, and you kind of fuel each other up, and what's everyone doing, and how does that apply to my firm and my technology, and then you go back out and everyone keeps working on it, and it's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun sorority or fraternity to be part of.
And Jennifer, we have a question that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours, and why are they a hero?
Yeah, I would say that it would be my mom. So my mom passed away when she was 50. But what I loved about her is she never saw limitations. She always was like, you can be anything. And I think, as we do foster parenting, and we talk about you can't be what you can't see. But my mom was kind of the opposite of that, which we couldn't see it, but she helped us believe it was possible. So she always was like, you can do anything, and even if you haven't seen it, the sky's the limit. So that kind of fired me up for the rest of my career.
And lastly, Jennifer, how can somebody get a hold of you?
They can, I'm on every social media. You can find me on Twitter, you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can email me at jennifer.warawa@quickfee.com.
All right. You know what? Spell Warawa for the benefit of those who haven't.
Sorry. That's a great question. Warawa.
All right. Jennifer, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
Thanks, Ed. Great to be back.
Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.